You're not going to believe what we've got today. So get comfortable, hit that like button, subscribe, and let's get straight into it. Because last night felt like one of those games where the scoreboard screams one thing, but the details whisper something even bigger. There's a quarterback getting white hot at exactly the right time. There's an ankle situation that could be nothing, or could become the headline that changes everything. And there's uma regra de segurança que a liga vive dizendo que leva a sério, até a hora em que ela realmente precisa aparecer. And here's why Monday night in Indianapolis wasn't just another win. That 48-27 over the Colts was a statement that the 49ers offense has flipped into that dangerous gear, where every drive feels like it starts with points baked in. And the wild part? It wasn't even a clean, comfortable setup. Ricky Pearsall was out. And you know how it goes. One missing piece and people start thinking the rhythm will stall. Brock Purdy looked at that and basically said, "Cool. Watch this." But don't reduce it to Purdy played well. This was the kind of performance that forces the entire league to adjust the conversation. He finished 25 for 34 for 295 yards, threw 5 touchdowns, and even with a late interception, he was in complete command. That's not a guy surviving off scheme. That's a guy reading leverage, anticipating windows, and delivering the ball like he's already living in playoff football. The passer rating? 126.8. That number isn't just pretty. It's a snapshot of control, the kind of control that makes defensive coordinators start losing sleep. And let's talk about who stepped up with Pearsall sidelined, because this is the part that makes this roster feel deeper than people want to admit. Kendrick Bourne and Demarcus Robinson were two of the main guys who got extra opportunities, and Robinson grabbed his first touchdown as a 49er. That matters because December football isn't about having one perfect plan. It's about being able to win when Plan A gets stressed. Purdy didn't hesitate, didn't shrink the field, didn't play scared. He kept distributing the ball to whoever was open, and he kept attacking like the score was 0-0. Now, the context makes it even louder. The Niners didn't have to sweat the playoff clinch on Monday because they already got help the day before when the Steelers knocked off the Lions. So the mission wasn't get in. The mission was take control, win out, grab the NFC West, and put the number 1 seed in your own hands. That's a different kind of pressure. That's chess, not checkers. And the offense answered like a team that doesn't want to visit the playoffs. It wants to host them. George Kittle was doing George Kittle things. 115 yards, a touchdown, that gravity in the middle of the field where safeties start cheating and linebackers start panicking. But what made this game feel unfair for Indy was Christian McCaffrey turning into a dual threat hammer. He ripped off his third 100-yard rushing game of the season and then added 29 receiving yards with 2 receiving touchdowns. When CMC is scoring through the air like that, the Shanahan playbook becomes cruel because defenses can't pick their poison without getting burned. So if you're watching this as a 49ers fan, the feeling is simple. Purdy is heating up at the exact right time, and the offense looks like it can carry a night if it has to. But right in the middle of all that joy, you can feel the fan base holding its breath. Kittle's ankle. And it's not just Kittle. When Kyle Shanahan speaks, we'll also know more about how the Niners came out of it, because Tatum Bethune's ankle is on the radar too. This is that time of year where a little thing turns into a weekly conversation that takes over everything. Kittle's own words mattered because he didn't sound panicked. He said he didn't think it was a high ankle sprain, and he talked about taking it one day at a time. That's the phrase you want to hear from your all-pro in late December. But he also explained how it started. Second quarter. A tackle he believed was a hip drop, and his ankle getting stuck on the grass, or the turf. He called it cork turf and said it was a weird field. He tried to tape it up and gut it out into the third quarter. But it got worse. And he was honest about it. If he can't run fast or plant, it's better for the other tight ends to go in and make plays. That's leadership. And it's also a reminder of how real the risk is. And that's where the frustration hits. Because a hip drop tackle isn't just a buzzword. It's a specific action the league has been talking about because of the injury risk. The simple version. The defender wraps, then swivels and drops his weight, landing on or trapping the runner's legs at or below the knee. And the problem is, For the second straight week, it feels like the 49ers got stuck on the wrong side of a potential 15-yard call that never came. Later in the game, safety Cam Bynum ended up landing on Kittle's ankle, and you could see how quickly the situation changed. One moment you're rolling, the next moment you're calculating what January looks like if the wrong guy can't cut and plant. So what's the real impact? It's not just about one player's pain tolerance. Kittle is a multiplier in this offense. He's your chain mover, your red zone bully, your emotional spark, your run game edge. When Kittle isn't on the field at full speed, the spacing changes, the coverages change, and the margin for error shrinks, especially with 2 games left and everything still on the table. And then Tuesday brought the update that makes it feel more real. According to ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, Kittle is dealing with a mid to low ankle sprain from the Colts game. That lines up with what Kittle said, avoiding the dreaded high ankle, and it's the kind of injury where the word management becomes the whole week. It's the kind of thing where the team has to weigh one Sunday against the entire month of January. Kyle Shanahan will tell us more, but the truth is simple. The last thing this team can afford is Kittle missing time when you're trying to lock down the division and chase the top seed. Because look at what's coming. The 49ers have 2 games left, and both are at Levi's Stadium, first against the Chicago Bears, then to close the season against the Seattle Seahawks. And the math is clean. If San Francisco wins those final 2, they clinch the NFC West and secure the number 1 seed in the NFC playoffs. That's the prize. That's the road that runs through the Bay. That's the version of January where you make everybody else travel, everybody else deal with the noise, everybody else feel that red and gold pressure from the first snap. Now, while everybody's staring at that ankle like it's a countdown clock, there was another storyline that deserves way more love because it could become the kind of postseason difference maker nobody sees coming. Rookie defensive tackle C.J. West. On Monday night, West tied teammate Alfred Collins for the best Pro Football Focus pass rush grade of the game, both with career-high 91.7 marks, and both guys grabbed their first NFL sacks in the same game. That's not a cute stat. That's a signal that the interior rotation is starting to pop at the exact moment you need it most. And yeah, let's talk about that quarterback for a second. Phillip Rivers at 44, coming out of retirement, playing with that classic swagger and command. Even if it wasn't enough, the Colts had Jonathan Taylor looming, and the whole week was about discipline. Stop the run, then get after Rivers. West said it straight after the game. Taylor was priority number 1, and then it was getting in Rivers' face, forcing him off his spot, making him move, making him uncomfortable. That's how you survive a veteran quarterback, because if you let him stand tall and set his feet, he'll turn it into a long night. When West got asked what it meant to sack a future Hall of Famer, he didn't play it cool. He said it meant a lot, because of the hard work, because he wants to show the world what he can do, and because doing it against a legend is legendary. That's the mindset you want bubbling up in a locker room in late December. Not just veterans carrying the load, but rookies adding real impact and real confidence at the perfect time. Put it all together and you can feel the theme. The 49ers are on a 5-game win streak, sitting at 11-4, and the message is that they're not going anywhere. That's what West said too. Through adversity, through chaos, none of it matters if you keep fighting and keep stacking wins. And that's the scary part for the NFC. This team is starting to look like it enjoys the pressure. So here's what I want you to sit with. The offense is humming. Purdy is sharp. McCaffrey is doing McCaffrey things. And the defense is getting fresh impact from young guys at the perfect time. But the line between we're unstoppable and we're suddenly vulnerable can be as thin as one ankle on a weird field and one whistle that never blows. Now I need you in the comments. If you're Kyle Shanahan, are you being cautious with Kittle this week? Or are you pushing because the number 1 seed is worth everything? And do you think the league has to start enforcing the hip drop rule consistently? Or are we just going to keep watching stars get twisted up with no flag? If you're riding with the red and gold right now, show it. Hit like, subscribe, and share this with a friend who needs to hear it. Because the Niners aren't just trying to get into the dance. They're trying to control the music. And the next 2 weeks are going to tell us exactly who this team really is. And one more thing before you go. If Purdy is playing like this, and the supporting cast is stepping up when injuries hit, What's the ceiling for this offense when everyone is healthy? Is this the start of an MVP-level surge, or is it just a perfect storm that could cool off fast? I want the honest take from the faithful. No fence-sitting. Drop your prediction for Bears and Seahawks and tell me what you're most worried about. Health, flags, or a matchup you don't want to see in January.